The funding for this video is provided by the amazing members of my Patreon. Also contributions from viewers like you. Thank you. Yeah, I started from PBS Kids. What you gonna do? Fight me? Anyway, roll the video. Guess what, y'all? We got the beads and some more back. We got them back. Hey y'all, it's Harriana and I'm back with another video. Hi, hello, how are you guys doing? My name is Harriana and welcome back to the pirate ship, also known as Harriet's pirate ship. I am the captain. You were not my first mate. I don't got no first mate because you want to know why? Bring your ear closer to the speaker so you can hear me clearly. Nobody's worthy of being the first mate, but hi, hello, how are you guys doing? My name is Harriana and I like to make content based off nostalgia and family and children's entertainment and all the issues that I find within those spaces. Okay, first of all, I have not been here this month on YouTube. I've been so busy getting my stuff ready for MomoCon, which is this weekend. So if you're there, say hi. I got like 4 panels that I'm doing. Look on my YouTube community tab if you want to see what those are, or go look on my Instagram. That's where they are. And I also have an organization table. So yay, fun. But y'all, I have been so caught up with like getting my stuff ready for that event. My nails are not done. These things are crusty, dusty, musty nails. These are not cute. Okay, I literally was like so stressed out. I was picking at my face and I have like a big bruise now, like right over here, y'all. It's bad, but everything's gonna be well. And today, because of like me being like so stressed out, I did need to still get an upload done, and I want to do something that's a lot more fun and lighthearted. Yeah, this is an idea I actually had to last week to film, but I didn't really have much time, and if I did have time, I was just really tired. And yeah, so today we are going to be ranking Western cartoons into anime demographics. Now we are going to end this video with a little discussion because we need to have a little word about the lack of animation, Western animation. No, because this is the anime problem too, just as well when it comes to women. Like, we need to have a word about that. But before we get started, just to get you guys in the know, for those of you guys who aren't aware, because I noticed that some of you guys told me that you didn't know what josei was until I started talking about it. And I was like, huh? For real? But that's how you know nobody give a fuck about us when it comes to art and cartoons and shit. So there are 4. Ooh, I have been doing this since I was little, okay? I will literally be like, I have 4, and I will literally put up the number 3, or I'll say 3 and I'll put up the number 4. I don't know, but I basically have 4 demographics that are not me anime. There are 4 different anime demographics. The first one I'm gonna name shoujo. Shoujo is basically the demographic that is for girls. Shonen is the demographic that is for boys. Seinen, I still have trouble pronouncing it, but that is the anime demographic for adult men. And josei, the anime demographic that is for adult women. So just because these things are specifically for, you know, certain demographics, that doesn't mean that you can't engage with them, because shonen is the most popular anime demographic, but everybody be watching and reading shonen, okay? Don't let an anime demographic stop you from engaging with a story. But honestly, I low-key have been avoiding the shonen demographic for a minute because I'm tired. I'm starting to see numerous ongoing problems with that shit, and I'm getting frustrated with it. I do try to have a bit of a gender neutral perspective when I talk about certain things like this. Like, you guys are familiar when I talked about the subject of periods, and I basically just said people that have periods. But with this, I understand that all people engage with animation overall, and yeah, but these are just specifically demographics and things that are in them that they usually have set for that group. So when it comes to like shoujo, you'll have like a lot of glitzy and glamour and girl characters. When it comes to shonen, you'll have a lot of action and fighting and boy and girl characters. So yeah, and then when it comes to josei, you have more mature topics that strongly focus on adult women. And then with seinen, sometimes it feels like shonen 2.0, but it opposes josei oftentimes, because a lot of like my favorite seinen at the moment, I think it's my favorite seinen ever, is the gangster manga. And also By the way, I want to mention that just because a writer is a different gender doesn't mean that they can't write for a specific demographic. Because the gangster manga, which is seinen, it is written by a woman. And I'm pretty sure you guys are familiar with Full Metal Alchemist. Full Metal Alchemist is shonen, I'm sure, and it's written by a woman. So let's go ahead and get into this. The first cartoon I have is The Amazing World of Gumball. I'm gonna be completely honest, I would throw Gumball in the seinen category, okay? Mainly because this is a show that, mind you, I've been watching Gumball since I was probably about like 13 years old when it came out. I have been watching the show since its beginnings. I still watch it all the time. It's literally one of my top 10 shows of all time ever. But there's just so much humor in it that I didn't understand when I was younger that I do now. Like, there's just so many things that I find that are funnier now in Gumball. It's like they throw in so much adult humor, and when I say adult humor, I'm not talking about nasty, raunchy humor. I'm just talking about humor that adults would find funny. So that is why I would throw Gumball in the seinen category, but not a josei, simply because I wouldn't really say that Gumball is a girly show. It absolutely isn't. The show can get really fucking nasty at times, like a lot of toilet humor, potty humor, and then also a lot of the characters that are pushed more towards the front or male. So yeah, that is where I throw The Amazing World of Gumball. The next one I have the Powerpuff Girls. I think this one is just pretty much self-explanatory. It's shoujo. It's literally shoujo. Literally shoujo. It's funny how the Powerpuff Girls, like I said, you don't have to be a woman to make a shoujo. Hey, the Powerpuff Girls was created by men, but it was men that wanted to create a show for girls. And sometimes this show would give shonen because of the sexual innuendos that they would put in there, like they did with Dexter's Laboratory. Dexter's Laboratory, that's honestly shonen. That's shonen right there. But moving back to the Powerpuff Girls, it's shoujo because it's basically about cute little superheroes fighting crime and whatever. And they have these adorable ass outfits, and their room is super duper girly and lighthearted. And a lot of the episodes are pretty much like just cutesy stuff, I'd say. The Powerpuff Girls, it's very cute. It's a show that has a lot of issues. Please go watch my writing video. I worked my ass off on that one over there, okay? But the Powerpuff Girls, just shoujo. I don't think there's anything left to say about that. Next one, I'd say Totally Spies. Now, I originally was gonna put this in the josei category, but honestly, no. Because I rewatched Totally Spies back in, I'd say, 2019. And I was like, yeah, this is a show I watched when I was little, okay? Totally Spies just don't slap as an adult, because I start to notice that there's so many issues with the writing in it. And I had mentioned, like, in my writing video, I talked about the Powerpuff Girls, where there's a lot of bad episodes in there, but the overall show pretty much holds up. The thing with Totally Spies is that my issue with it is that this show does one aspect of it so well, and then the other aspect of it is done poorly, okay? The shit that goes on with the actual spy stuff, I personally just can't stand it. I find it boring, it's annoying, they be screaming too much. But the stuff where it's just basically slice of life, like the slice of life aspect of it, it's good, but that's the only part of the show that I can stand to watch. And unfortunately, that's not the majority of the episode. It's only like 25% of the episode. If the show was more like that, I'd say it was josei. And I say josei because honestly, when it comes to like shows like Totally Spies, sometimes I forget I think they forget how old these characters are sometimes, because oftentimes the girls felt like they were written to be older. Like, it's basically kind of like a Charlie's Angels situation though. But Totally Spies is shoujo mainly because that writing just, it be given childish. Next, Danny Phantom, shonen. Danny Phantom, easily a shonen, okay? You basically have your male lead action superhero, the hero of the story. He has the female love interest. He has his best friend who's also a dude. And then, you know, there's other female characters in the story that like have a crush on him or whatever. Like, it's literally shonen, lots of action, lots of fighting. There is gross out humor in it. There's literally a restaurant in it called Nasty Burger. Okay, it's basically like a dude bro show, I'd say, but it's not dude bro enough, because I feel like the female characters in it is what has gotten a lot of like women and non-binary people to like be catered towards the series. Because I remember when I was little, I literally would not barely watch anything that didn't have female characters in it though. But at the end of the day, it's like the female characters are written very in concerning ways, I'd say that. A lot of them are not very well written, I will go ahead and say that. And shonen is notorious for writing women horribly. Women and girls horribly. So that is why I throw Danny Phantom into the shonen category. Y'all know it's a Harry on a Hook video. Of course we're gonna get into stuff like that. Moving on to the next one, we have Kim Possible. As much as I know, I think a lot of y'all might disagree with me on this one, but when it comes to Kim Possible, I honestly throw it in the shonen category. I literally throw it in the shonen category. I don't get shoujo from Kim Possible. I don't. I even would throw Kim Possible and like, I would even say it's a bit of a josei. I even say Kim Possible, it's like josei, it's anything but shoujo, to be honest. Because one, mind you, this show was not that, would it be josei? I'd say more seinen. This show, in my opinion, yeah, we're gonna move that from shoujo and then move it to seinen, because some episodes be very childish, but like it's a children's cartoon. Like some episodes be very childish, but some episodes, they handle mature topics so well, and also mature humor a bit better too. Even though the series has a female lead protagonist, it's very much, like I say, it gives like dude bro vibes. Kim Possible is a show, in my opinion, I feel like they want to cater to like everyone, but you know, when they want to cater to everyone, they're always mainly keeping boys and men in mind. So when it comes to that aspect right there, you have this female character, but also Kim, she's written to be like not like other girls, like just be fucking for real. And that is basically your typical shonen love interest. I'm just being for real. Like, even though Kim is like a cheerleader and whatever, her best friend's a boy and she likes to eat nasty greasy food and she knows how to whoop your ass and she does kung fu. But even though she does cheerleading, and she does have another friend on the side that is a girl, but yeah, but also it's just a lot of things in here where like Kim Possible is a show that kind of like appealed to like all ages. I could tell because I saw some things when I was younger, when I did that Google search. Kim Possible is a series that appeals to all ages, but that's because so much of its storytelling is something that an adult would enjoy. And I'm gonna be honest, I enjoy the series a lot more now that I'm older than I did when I was younger. So it's between shonen and seinen for me with that one. Next we have Kiff. Kiff basically reminds me of the Amazing World of Gumball. If you guys have not watched Kiff, please do. It actually slaps. And I don't think I've really seen anybody on YouTube talk about Kiff yet. Maybe they have and I just didn't see it, but Kiff, it reminds me a lot of like the Amazing World of Gumball, but like it's humor, but I feel like the humor isn't completely out there like Gumball's humor is. So Kiff is a series I would throw, and it's not really girly. You know what? Kiff, the main character is a girl, Kiff. I'm gonna be fucking for real. I would throw Kiff in josei. I would literally throw Kiff in josei. I would. I really would, because it's a female-led show. It has like this humor to it that's like Gumball, but it doesn't go all the way like Gumball does. Like I'd say, like with grossness, I'd say. But Kiff, it gives josei, it doesn't give shoujo in my opinion at all. Because I noticed like this is a show I really wouldn't have liked when I was older, but now that I'm an adult and I can like see and understand it, because there are some fake ass bitches in this show. They be doing Kiff so dirty. I will give Kiff josei. I'm not even gonna lie. Y'all are gonna look up Kiff and be like, you sure this is josei? Okay, I'll say seinen. I mispronounced it so bad. I'll do seinen too. It will throw Kiff over there, but miraculous ladybug. Fuck this show. Fuck this damn show. It's shoujo. It literally is shoujo. Miraculous Ladybug is literally inspired by Magical Girl, which is a shoujo thing. Okay, there's like nothing about that. Your lead protagonist is a girl. Even though there's like a boy protagonist, shoujos often have like a male protagonist with the female character because they often try to get that male audience. It's shoujo. The people act like shoujo protagonists. Like it's so many shoujo tropes in this show, and they do that. Okay, I'm gonna just shut up. But it's shoujo. Fuck the show. Next, hi Puffy, I'm Yumi. Hi Puffy, I'm Yumi. Most definitely. Okay, when I was younger, I would most likely have said it was shoujo, but now that I'm older, it's a fine line between shonen and shoujo, because there are just some episodes of this series where it's obvious that they're just trying to appeal to male audiences, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, can we get it together? It feel weird. Let's not do that shit now. Let's not do that now. And then the last season of this series was just not it. Like, it was racist as hell. Yeah, no. But I'm split between shoujo and shonen, and like I said, it's mainly because the writing is very childish. Even though like Ami and Yumi were like pretty much grown, I think they were. They didn't have parents in the series. They were just traveling on their bus by themselves. So I'm pretty sure they were grown, but it felt very much childish. But that's not necessarily a bad thing because it was made for fucking Cartoon Network. But it's just certain things in this series where I'm just like, y'all two are so fucking insufferable sometimes. Like both Ami and Yumi be trying it. So it's between shonen and shoujo for me. I can't decide between those two because half the time it feels like that, but sometimes I'm like, are you sure? Boondocks. The Boondocks is easily a seinen. It is obvious that this show, as much as I adored it, y'all know I was a Boondocks stan up in middle school, okay? I was a whole fucking stan of this show, okay? Had no business watching that shit then, okay? But this show, I'm pretty sure they even said that this series was like made for male audiences. I'm pretty sure that's basically all it gives. They rarely like do any storylines with women and just female characters. They're just kind of like pushed off to the side and like accessory to the male characters, which isn't necessarily bad because the show is made for like a female audience. But this show, the way they write women sometimes, I'm gonna be talking about it, but this show though, it can be a bit disturbing how they write their female characters, which is also a big thing in seinen. That's another thing too. Cowboy Bebop, I'm looking at you. But yeah, it's seinen, hands down. I can't. That's the only thing I can put it in. Next we have Daria. Okay, even though Daria is a show that takes place in high school, it's not shoujo to me. It really isn't shoujo to me because while shoujo does deal with mature topics, like Ojamajo Doremi is a show that dealt with the subject of like racism and like eating disorders and death and breaking bones and shit like that. Like Ojamajo Doremi can get dark though, but when it comes to Daria, there's just certain things in it that I see over here that I just was not seeing there, because the series does touch on a lot more mature topics and whatnot, but the characters are more older, and then we also get to spend a lot more time with the adults in the series too, opposed to Ojamajo Doremi where we're mainly just focused on like the witches. With Daria, we get to see these interactions with the adults, and then we see how a lot of the kid characters act sometimes, and I'm just like, yeah, this is something that I most likely would not get in a shoujo. But Daria is a series that I'd say it's an adult animated series, but it's also a teen series too. Honestly, I put it in like older teen because shoujo, they say shoujo is like for teen and josei is like for 18 and up. But I didn't watch Daria until I was about like 15 years old. And I think I watched it at like the perfect time. I'm gonna be completely honest. But I still enjoy it a lot as an adult, even though it's like a high school show and I'm really over high school shit, like for real. It's josei. I can't throw it in the shoujo category as much as I would like to. It just don't feel right over there. Hi, editing me here. I have something else I want to say about Daria where I said it doesn't feel like josei. Honestly, you know when you are like with your friends and you guys are like telling like stories about like things that happened when y'all were in high school? That's what Daria feels like. That's literally what the show feels like. And mind you, by the way, a lot of Josei stories do take place in high school. That's something else that I want to talk about. But a lot of Josei, opposed to shoujo, they handle more mature topics over there. So yeah. As told by Ginger. Okay. I have to say Josei. I have to put As Told by Ginger in the Josei category. I don't get shoujo. I don't. Like, I get shoujo. Okay, I'm gonna be fucking for real. A lot of the shoujo that I have seen has just felt very much childish. Editing me here. I also want to mention Fruits Basket, the darkest one I've ever seen. I read the whole series when I was like 11. I'm never touching it again. Mm-mm. I think that was one of my first early signs that I had issues with depression because no, stop recommending me I watch Fruits Basket because I'm not touching this story again. It just feels like child. Like I said, it's written for that age demographic. I get it, I understand it, but when it comes to shoujo, it just feels like so much of this is like, okay, it's written for like 14 and under. Like, where's like that older teen demographic that is supposed to be here? And people say that like Josei is like 16 and up. I don't believe that. I know. But most of like the shoujo that I have read and been aware of, they just kind of like play it safe a lot, I'd say, with like a lot of the storytelling and not wanting to touch into like more deeper subjects. I'd say like shonen gets away with that shit all the time. I don't understand how shoujo doesn't get away with it. But I think it's because shonen is like the most popular anime demographic though. But when it comes to As Told by Ginger, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't like this show when I was younger. I found it boring. I just found it boring. I didn't like it until I rewatched it as an adult. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I'm just gonna be fucking for real because I just simply didn't understand it. There's just things in As Told by Ginger that I did not understand until I became older, opposed to when I watched this shit as a kid. And like I said, Josei stories, like I said, they don't necessarily have to be about adults, but it's mainly like material that more adults would understand opposed to other things, because there's just certain things in childhood that I experienced and I can like, oh yeah, shit, that's giving flashbacks. Oh, but that's As Told by Ginger. And by the way, I also want to mention that like, even though As Told by Ginger is a Nickelodeon show, I feel like a lot of people tend to forget that like adults make cartoons. Like all these Nicktoons and all that, adults make these shit. So like it makes sense why a lot of these shows feel a little bit more mature than others. So yeah, Moon Girl is most definitely a shoujo. It's a perfect shoujo. Absolutely perfect shoujo. You have your quirky and fun protagonist, you have her quirky and fun best friend, you have the cute little sidekick. He's not little, he's a big ass dinosaur. I'm telling you, Devil is so damn big. He was like running down the street and it was just moving and I was just like, it's Clifford the Big Red Dog all over again. You have, you know, female superhero protagonist. She fights crime, she saves the day, but then she also deals with like typical girly things like hair and fashion and all of that shit. Her best friend's into fashion too. Moon Girl is a super duper cute series and I really recommend that all you guys check it out, and also check out my video that I made about Moon Girl too. So yeah, that's Moon Girl right there. Okay, Scooby-Doo Mystery Inc. Scooby-Doo Mystery Inc. Shonen for sure. Even though like Scooby-Doo Mystery Inc. is a show that just kind of like appeals to like all ages, I'd say that it really has like the typical storyline that you would see in a shonen, where it'll basically be like a group of kids that, and shonen isn't always about like teenagers. Like they can be adults too. There's a lot of shonen that is about adults. But you have like these group of people that are basically trying to solve like a mystery or save the day and like find a quest and all of that shit. I think that's just kind of like the vibe I get, because it gets really dark and gritty and gross and nasty at times. But then you also have your other side plots of like what's going on with their relationships, what's going on with their families. Scooby-Doo Mystery Inc. It's perfect, it's amazing. But as much as I would like to say it's shoujo, it just isn't. It just isn't, because I think this is something that I think just appeals to everyone. And the category that appeals to everyone, unfortunately, is shonen. So it's shonen. I gotta give my credit when it's due. Amphibia. This is funny. This one might surprise y'all and y'all might not agree with me, but I would put Amphibia in both the shoujo and josei categories, because one thing I have learned is that I already knew like a lot of like girls love like Amphibia, but a lot of adult women really do love Amphibia too. And I think that's because this is one of those stories that isn't really focused on like it's about three girls, they're friends, and like it's about their friendship. That is something that we don't really get much of when it comes to like Western animation, but we have like Totally Spies, and that is another series that is about three girls and their friendship. But we also have like the Powerpuff Girls, which is a series about three girls and like basically their sisterhood. But Powerpuff Girls, like I said, basically borderline childish because they're literally 5-year-olds over there. But Totally Spies didn't really kind of, like I said, it's not childish, like it is childish, but they didn't really go like deeper into like their friendship, I'd say, and we didn't really like see the problems there. Amphibia has to be one of like the most realistic depictions of a teen friendship that I have seen so far between like three different girls. Like, I understood the dynamics. I love that. And the reason why I think Amphibia appeals to so many adult women and non-binary folk is because like this is something that we wish we had when we were younger. Because I was able to get my sister to watch Amphibia, and that's part of the reason why she enjoyed it so much. Because she told me it gives shoujo and josei, and that's mainly because of its three main leads. Because Amphibia can get gross, Amphibia can get nasty, but also it's just like a story about like three girls coming of age and them learning themselves outside of each other, but also them realizing that like, yeah, I got problems and I need to do better. So it's just something that a lot of adult women wished, like a lot of adult women and non-binary people wished we had when we were younger. So yeah, I love Amphibia. Okay, that's my shit right there. Big City Greens. Big City Greens is a show I would say I wouldn't say it's a full-on josei, but I low-key would, because a lot of women, including me, we love us some Big City Greens because the show actually does a pretty damn good job writing its female characters, okay? Like, you actually, like, why do I care about these people so much? Like, I want to know more about them, especially like Nancy and Alice, and especially Gloria. I'm gonna be fucking for real. Sometimes it's josei, but sometimes it's seinen, but then sometimes it can be real childish too, and it'll be shonen. But I wouldn't say it's shoujo at all, to be honest. But I'd say like seinen for the most part. I want to say josei, I'll say josei, but I'll also say seinen too, because it's like similar to like the Amazing World of Gumball in my opinion, where it's just so many jokes and so much of the humor in here I would not have found funny when I was younger. So yeah, moving forward, Kids Next Door, full on shonen. It's shonen, very much action packed. The show don't write its female characters that well. I'm sorry, I love Kid Next Door, but like it got problems. Action packed, saving the world, shit. Gross humor. It's not girly. Like, it's not girly at all. Like, not even the Rainbow Monkey shit. It's not girly, but it's still a cute show. Love me some Kid Next Door when I was younger. It's a full-on shonen. It's your typical shonen series. You have this group of people. The leader is a dude. They have like missions, they go undercover and all of that shit. Kids Next Door, it aged pretty well in my opinion though. Like, aged pretty well, but I do have lots of like, ooh, the way they wrote these female characters needed work. They needed work, and that is why I'm just like, let me not be myself for a moment, but realize that this show is very much quality, and I highly recommend you guys go give it a rewatch. It actually holds up, but that's a full-on shonen right there. So if you like shonen, you Sorry, the camera cut off. If you like shonen, you'll most likely like Kids Next Door. The Looney Tunes show. It's a tie between seinen and josei, mainly because this series is just about adults doing things. It just feels like a sitcom. It just feels like an American adult sitcom. That's like the best way for me to put it. If you like the humor, I'd say that's a bit like an Abbott Elementary and like The Office, or I'd say even what's one of them white people shows that y'all love? Because I can only really think of like black sitcoms outside of like The Office. What is one of them shows? Like, I can't stand Full House. I'm not mentioning that one. That's not good. What is one of them shows that's like a sitcom that's just kind of like about people doing stuff? Like Living Single? I say, I'm naming black shit, I don't care. But like a bit like Living Single, just about just these adults just doing shit and them being annoyed with life and everything like that. That's what the Looney Tunes show is. It's a tie between josei and seinen, but I'd say it fit a bit more in the seinen category because the series focuses more on men than it does women. I'm just gonna be completely fucking honest, okay? The women characters are just kind of like side pieces to like the main male characters. A lot of the women characters don't really get like their own like story, I'd say, outside of like the dudes. That's just why I would low-key put it in seinen. But it's pretty much josei. It's josei vibes there for sure. Looney Tunes show slaps. Like, that's like an amazing ass show. I'm mad because I watched that shit in middle school when nobody watched it. Same with Mystery. No, I watched like Looney Tunes show and then Mystery Inc. around the same time. Obsessed when nobody watching them shits. So moving forward, the next one we have is Avatar: The Last Airbender. It's shonen. It's your typical shonen. Literally shonen. Do I even need to explain that to you? Do I even need to explain that ass to you? Because that's shonen right there. Everything is shonen about it. It's shonen, okay? I'm not even gonna go into detail. It's just freaking shonen. But also, since I'm talking about Avatar, I think I'm gonna bring up Korra. Korra, in my opinion, feels josei. Korra, in my opinion, feels as if this was like a show they wanted to make for women, that like action series. But also, it's giving seinen too, because a lot of people were saying that they felt like Korra, because I know the characters in Korra were older than they were. Like, there was like a mix of characters in Avatar: The Last Airbender, but I'm pretty sure a lot of the characters in Korra were like much older. They focus more like on the adults here. Not gonna lie, I think I could throw Korra more into seinen, mainly because when it comes to josei, josei is not really a demographic that has like a lot of action and fighting in it. I'm just gonna be fucking for real about that. That is just not a genre that has like a lot of action and fighting and all that shit. It's just kind of like more calm and chill. There are aspects of Korra that give josei like the moments that a lot of people talk about the most when it comes to like the characters interacting with each other. But I'd say it's more seinen. A lot of people were saying that Avatar is shonen, Korra is seinen. Moving next, The Simpsons, seinen. It's literally seinen. Seinen. It's obvious that like who they be writing for when they write this show, okay? The Simpsons is mainly writing for men. I'm just gonna be completely honest. I love me some Lisa Simpson episodes. I literally relate to Lisa so hard, okay? Marge, I love me some Marge, okay? But I'm gonna be for real, they just be right. Because sometimes I feel like they be writing Lisa and Marge kind of questionably. But I still love them. I think they're pretty well-written characters. But the humor in this is just given very much adult man. Okay? It be given misogynistic at times too. But seinen, everyone loves The Simpsons. Adults love The Simpsons, but it's very much seinen. Next, we have Teen Titans. Teen Titans, it's shonen. I hate this. There's so many shonens, but yeah, we're gonna have to talk about this in a minute. It's shonen. As much as I want to throw it in josei, because not josei, this ain't no josei. As much as I would like to throw Teen Titans in shoujo, because this show had a big ass girl audience and it has a big adult woman audience. It literally, one thing about Teen Titans is that it's a very much anime inspired series. So when it comes to that, they're gonna take like tropes from specific anime It's obvious that they were taking after shonen here. It's very obvious. It's pretty obvious. Would I even say that this show gave like seinen at times? Honestly, not really. It's shonen. I have to be honest. Even though this is one of my favorite shows ever, it's shonen. I gotta be honest. I gotta be completely honest. Next, Robot Chicken. Okay, I'm throwing this in the shonen category just because this show is so fucking childish sometimes. And this is an adult animated series, okay? Robot Chicken, honestly, I would love to work on it one day because parody, funny. I would like to work on it. Even though adult Robot Chicken don't be funny sometimes, but I would love to work on this series one day. Let me not. But it's very much shonen. It's given very much childish ass humor that only a teenager that's trying to be cool would find funny. No, because I remember when I was in high school and I would be hearing like only like my male classmates talk about Robot Chicken and my female like counterparts didn't like the series. But it's because the show is very much fucking childish. And I think the biggest example of this would have to be the Bratz sketch. Yeah, that's shonen. That is shonen right there. Next we have the Proud Family. Then also I would throw its is it a spinoff or is it like a predecessor? What is it? And the new one. Basically a continuation of the old one. Proud Family, Louder and Prouder. Honestly, I wouldn't say it's a full-on josei. It kind of gives josei at times. I'd say it's a shoujo. I think the Proud Family is a shoujo for sure because I think this it's like one of the few cartoons that I remember growing up with that reminded me a bit of anime because they weren't afraid to like actually touch on a little bit more heavier subjects. The Proud Family didn't necessarily play it safe a lot, even though there are a lot of things in this series I think they could have handled much better. But I give it a shoujo. It's a shoujo. It's shoujo. It's very much shoujo. I would have given it josei, but no, because they very much childish as hell in there. They're literally kids. I need to stop saying that. But they act their age for sure, and we don't really see much of like the adults in the series on their own. And those moments are like golden. I appreciate those, but it's shoujo. It's shoujo. Moving forward, and All Grown Up. I love All Grown Up. I really do. It pains me to I feel like I'm just throwing jabs at shonen, but I'm not. It's shonen. As much as I don't want to put it in shonen, honestly, All Grown Up, half the show feels like josei and then the other half feels like shonen. I'm not even joking. Half of it feels like josei, half of it feels like shonen. Because it's like one half of it, when you deal with the girl characters, it feels like a girly ass show. But then when you deal with the boy characters, it feels like, oh, a very much dude bro show. That's exactly what All Grown Up is. It's just like a mix of the two. It's josei, but also shonen. Which one does it lean more towards though, I'd say? Because I'm gonna be honest, I think the show focused more on the male characters than it did the female characters too. And then when it did deal with a lot of female characters, it was just kind of like their interactions with like the male characters. Yeah, it's shonen. Next, we only have two more. Lolirock. Lolirock is a full-on not josei. Lolirock is a full-on shoujo. It literally, there's shoujo. Everything about it is shoujo. The aesthetic, the music, the transformations. It's literally Magical Girl. Magical Girl most likely almost always falls into the shoujo category, with the exception of like Little Witch Academia, because for some reason that's a shonen and I was like, how? But anyway, it's your basic typical Magical Girl show. I love it. It's amazing. It's cute. And while I'm talking about Lolirock, which shoujo for now, down, that's a shoujo. And the last one we're gonna talk about would be Bob's Burgers. It's literally like The Simpsons. It's about like a family that does shit and they run a burger place. Yeah, honestly, I'm gonna be real. I think Bob's Burgers writes their female characters better than The Simpsons does. Cause I know noticed that a lot of adult women like love them some Bob's Burgers too. I'm gonna be honest, but it's not giving José, I'd say, because Bob's Burgers relies on really gross ass humor at times too. Like that episode where his ass was stuck on the toilet the whole time, I was just like, what is this? But it's just like so much of the humor in the series, like while it appeals to like a lot of women, it's like obvious that like so much of it is like, yeah, this is for the male audience. So that leads me into my like little discussion that we need to have. We need more, and BoJack Horseman, that's a seinen for sure. We need more animation for women. Like, please. We barely have any shows. Y'all don't give a fuck about us when it comes to animation, too. And I think so much that has to do with that shit that Warner Brothers said about, like, girls graduate from animation. And we were like, yeah, the reason why girls graduate from animation is that y'all barely make shit for us. And that's why we get attached to horrible, poorly written female characters. Okay, Natalie. Now writing needs work. But that's the reason why. Like, y'all don't give a fuck about us. Y'all barely make anything for us. And you over here saying, oh, that's why girls graduate from animation. Yeah, because you don't make shit for us. And that's the reason why a lot of us tend to go to like over there in Japan. That's the reason why I started reading like more comics too, because I noticed if I want more stories about like women written by women, I gotta go to comics, watch their diaries, go read that shit. But I've been reading more Josei mangas. One of my favorites would have to be Midnight Secretary, even though that story is like, if you in the mood for some mess, that's what you read. I really want to watch more animated series that are like live action series that are about like women. Like, I want more animated Girlfriends. I want more animated Sex in the City. I want more animated Abbott Elementary. That's part of the reason why I like Life Lessons with Uchimachi Oni-san so much, because that's a Josei and it reminds me a lot of Abbott. Like, I feel like when it comes to women, we do have a lot more live action series opposed to animated ones, but like there's barely any series that like are made specifically for us. I'm not even fucking joking. Like all like the air quote woman series are basically like for little girls, and I'm like, we grown, we want stories about people that are like us, and that leads to us being attached to grown ass female characters that are in these regular cartoons that are appropriate for all ages, because that's why so many adult women and non-binary folk are so attached to Natalie from Miraculous Ladybug and Miss Bellum from Powerpuff Girls, and what's her name, y'all love her, Shigo. I mean, I like Shigo too, even though she's a girl failure. I love Shigo. Oh, people be thinking that I hate her. I'm like, I don't. I just actually analyze her character. Like, that is the reason why adult women tend to like latch onto like these adult female characters here, because it's like we don't really got much. We barely have much of anything when it comes to animation outside of them. So of course we're gonna take these characters and like have fun with them. But yeah, that's pretty much all I want to say for this. This went on longer than it was supposed to, and oh shit. Yeah, we gotta edit this. We got to edit this. I low-key may not edit pictures in here. It depends on how I feel, because y'all, the braids need to be washed, okay? The nails need to be done. I got so much stuff I need to do. My cosplays aren't even finished yet, but this most likely is my last upload for a hot minute because MomoCon is coming. But thank you guys so much for watching. I deeply do appreciate it. Follow me on Instagram. That's really the only place I really be at. But I said MomoCon. I have all that stuff down below. I am like just trying to get my shit together. So yeah. Let me go because I'm low-key stressing. And I'm like, okay, we got something done, now we gotta go work on something else. Yeah, girl stressing. But thank you guys so much for watching and have a good night.
Now that you see, you should beware of the power of three. They come to fight as fast as they can. They're dangerous yet fabulous, because the Utonia made them eschew. They are the colors of pink, green, and blue.